Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
So, hello. Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. My name is Mabel Kane, and my book, I'm the author of Beautiful, Control Your Physical, Mental, and Spiritual Self Through Pregnancy, through menopause. See how my mind thinks? Menopause, pregnancy, menstruation, all of those things. But the title of the book is Beautiful, Control Your Physical, Mental, and Spiritual Self Through Menopause, a guide for today's woman. Okay, so you can get a copy of this book at Amazon. It's in Amazon, or you can inbox me on Facebook and get your own copy. So today, I'm here to tell you about who I am really, and I am an author, but before that, I am mom, wife, grandmother. I have three grandchildren, and I am a nurse. And I have lots of interests outside of family and outside of the church. I like to think of myself where the church is concerned that I am bought with a price. So therefore, I belong to God. I belong to Jesus, and therefore, I'm not for sale. So what my book is. So you can get a copy of this, Beautiful, and it will help you to navigate the stresses that comes with menopause. And I just want to read you a little quotation from the book with respect to the purpose of the book, why I actually wrote the book. And the quotation is taken from St. Augustine, and it says, I have learned to love you, late beauty, at once so ancient and so new. You were within me, and I was in the world outside myself. You were with me, but I was not with you. Isn't that amazing? You know, what Augustine is saying is that we have this ability to be beautiful from the inside out, but a lot of us are disconnected from who we are, and our spirit and our body and our emotions, which makes up our mental state, are not working and are not synchronized. So because of that, we're not really beautiful, or we're not enjoying the benefits of being beautiful from the inside out. We are actually ugly. And how are we ugly? Well, we're ugly in our moods. We're ugly in our bodies with uh, the symptoms that we feel. We're ugly with our relationships. We yell and scream at other people, and we self hate. That's ugliness. And we seek other things that don't bring us the satisfaction, because we're trying to assuage or to massage the wounds that are within. So, um, when we actually learn the technique of how to bring body and soul together, body, mind, spirit, which is a soul together, then and only then you can be truly beautiful. So my book explains how you can do that. And especially during menopause, things change during menopause. Before menopause, you were one person, and after menopause, you're another person. And if you don't believe me, you can ask anybody you know who have gone through menopause. Because before menopause, you were sexy and desirable and with beautiful skin, and you have lots of guys around you, especially if you're a woman. Yes, you're a woman. And a lot of men are pursuing you and stuff like that. But after menopause, no, you're not being, um, you're not actually, or you're not seeing yourself as, and the world actually doesn't see you as beautiful. And here's a question from Cassandra. She says, as a woman who's not as young, I believe this book has such an empowering message to us women. Oh, Cassandra, thank you so much for saying that. Yes, and I think women, the question here, Cassandra, is that women will say when you ask them, uh, "Would you like to come to a workshop on menopause?" The first thing they'll say, "Oh, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet." And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to say that, but you're there, although you don't know it, because you're born with a certain number of eggs, and by the time, maybe a million, and by the time you reach menarche, or the time when you have your period, you only have about 30,000 left. And then the first month of your first period, you're actually premenopausal, because you start losing an egg. Every month you lose an egg. Until some women, when they reach 30 or 35, they don't even have any eggs left. They can't actually conceive. So the point I'm trying to make is that um, you should learn about menopause and how to take care of your body, your your mental health, and your spirit, and your emotions, and before you actually reach there, because once you reach there, it's going to hit you like a thunderbolt. Trust me, I've been there. And the reason why I wrote this book is because I've been there, and it was extraordinarily traumatic. So I don't want you to go through this trauma. My job, I'm a nurse, I'm a registered nurse. So I'm also an adult educator. I have a master's degree in adult education and a master's degree in nursing. I didn't just go get those because I had nothing else to do. I was raising a family, and I had children in university. And so I had to put food on the table as well. So I did those things because I wanted to be better at what I do, which part of what I do is health education. So I'm here to tell you, um, without any apologies, that if you actually reach 30 and going on between the ages of 30 and maybe 40, then you should get this book because it will help to prepare you for the inevitable. Um, I want to talk a little bit about my other interests. And my other interest is are World Food Hunger. I contribute to the World Food Program. I contribute to Compassion Canada. I have a child in Thailand that I've been taking care of since he was like 3. He's 7 years old now. And Christmas time, I send a little bit extra. Now, I want to talk about the principle of giving too, as well, because some people think that you have to give thousands to give. That is not true. I mean, if you have thousands to give, good for you, looks good on you. You're Elon Musk, go for it, do it. But if you only have $5 or $1 to give, it's amazing what that $5 can do. I learned from the World Food Program, as a matter of fact, that $5 can actually feed 10 children for a month. Imagine that, $5. What can we do with $5? You can't even eat at McDonald's with $5, for goodness sakes. Well, not in Canada, you can't, because by the time you pay taxes, you're up there about $7 or $8 for maybe for a hamburger and a drink, So you don't have to have tons of money to give. That's not what giving is all about. Giving is giving because you care and you want to help other people. So that's my other passion other than writing. Writing is a passion of mine. I've always loved words, loved reading and writing. I write lots of stories, different short stories. I write poetry. I just wrote a psalm that I'm going to read at church next week, hopefully. And I wrote a book for my grandbaby. It's called The Impossible Farm. And I'm going to get it republished in a hardcover book. So I'm hoping that you'll get one for your children, because this book tells you or tells a child how to behave and how to treat his sister. So I have to rewrite it because I use a fictitious name because at the time, his name is Kenneth. Kenneth did not have a sister. So I had to make up a name for Kenneth's sister because I was anticipating a sister, my goodness. And so now the sister is here. I'm going to have to just make some corrections for the book and republish it with the sister's name. And so Kenneth had it, read it in his classroom, and they loved it. They loved the story, and children loved it. So I'm going to get it down in hardcover and leave it for him as a legacy and see what he does with it. Okay, so that's my other thing. So I was my other charity is London Missions, and London Missions is there's a lot of homeless people in London, Ontario. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to have to say that. Okay, here's a question from Betty. This is such an empowering book while discussing a point in the woman's to their womanhood. Oh, Betty, I so agree with you. It is pretty sad that we consider menopause a drawback. I'm going to be a little bit upfront now and say I considered menstruation a drawback, honestly, when it came along, and the pain and the suffering that was associated with it, to the extent that I had to be medicated, and that continued all the way until menopause, really, and then to suffer I call it the indignity of menopause. At the time, it was just absolutely terrible. But you're right. It's not only women feel this way is that the men in our lives don't really understand it, and we as women, we have to teach them how. I was able to sell some of my books to men for their wives, and while they were purchasing the book, I was able to describe what was in it. And the book is it's easy to read, and it is not a textbook. It is something that a woman can read really quickly. If she's on the bus going to school, going to work, or on the train, she can read it in bed. You can read it over in one night. It's very easy to read because it is not a textbook. I don't want it to be a textbook. I've read enough textbook in my life, and I'm sure you have. So it is also entertaining, and because there are anecdotes of myself in it. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy reading it. I have been told that it's enjoyable to read, and I did get some appraisals of it, that it's fun and it's easy to read. But other than that, there's some basic facts in the book, because in terms of what menopause is like, I actually outline the physical symptoms. And remember, I said that you are three distinct entities made up to be one. Okay, your body, your mind, and your spirit. Okay, so menopause affect each part of us differently. And with more, I was told really recently when I was talking to a doctor about this book, and I said there are 35 symptoms of menopause that I have researched, and she said to me, "Oh, well, you haven't yet started, honey, because there are 105 symptoms of menopause. That 105 symptoms of menopause that have been discovered, and yet there are women walking around in the world today who don't even know about one." And also, in terms of my 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 interests, the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada is one of the charities that I support. So, ladies and gentlemen, or whoever you're out there listening to me, I need these funds to support my charities, because the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada, I can only speak for Canada, but it's all over the United States as well. The Heart and Stroke Foundation has says that of every $5 that and Julia says, welcome, Julia. Thanks for your note. She says, it's awesome how books discussing different matters are given the spotlight here with Reader's Magnet. I think it's really awesome. I think Reader's Magnet is really educating the world, don't you? I think so. And women's health have been swept under the rug far too often. And for every $5 that goes towards research, only 3 of those dollars are spent on researching women. So therefore, our job is to fund the Heart and Stroke Foundation. And more importantly, I'm wondering, when is a Black doctor, for example, especially when it comes down to Black women, when are you going to be doing research on women and Black women? When are you going to do that? Because, like I said before in my first video, that not all women are created equal. And so we need to find out, why is it Black women experience what they experience as opposed to other races? And so I don't have the capacity to do the research. If I did, I would. But you young men out there, doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers, you can do the research, and then I will support it. Well, I'm already supporting the Heart and Stroke Foundation, so you can get support from the Heart and Stroke Foundation. And they don't pay me to say this. I'm just saying that's my charity, so I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart, if you want to put it that way, because I want to find out why certain things are the way they are. It would be great to find out why certain things are the way they are. I also support my church, and my church, my current church has, the name of it is Mosaic. Elizabeth, sure. Thank you, Elizabeth. She says, thank you for gracing us with your presence and books. I'm sure people can learn a lot from you. Well, I hope so, because I'm here to teach. I am here to help. I'm here to not only teach from science or from the scientific method, but I'm also here to teach from my experience. And my mother always said experience is the greatest teacher. So if you actually have a particular question that is private that you would like me to answer, you can send me a note at Facebook. On Facebook, you can send me a message on Facebook. I agree. Menopause is truly, this is Pauline Adams. Menopause is truly massively misunderstood. And while it can be scary, it's important to talk about this. Pauline, oh, I wish I could do something other than just concur with you, because, here I am, a scientific person. I am a scientific person. I work in the intensive care unit for years. I take care of moms and babies, and I'm a female, I'm a woman myself, and I didn't know anything about menopause. And the textbook only had this much, you know? So, and my doctors, I've been going to doctors for years. Do you know that when I actually was getting that way, premenopausal or perimenopausal within that period, I had so much anxiety, and I actually didn't know why. I showed up at the emergency with palpitations and chest pain and arm pain and just palpitations. I thought I was going to die, actually. I have a heart attack. And the doctor gave me, it was a male doctor, and the doctor, after taking my history and my physical, he gave me Ativan, and never mentioned anything about to let me know or ask me about, my periods, or when, or what could be happening to me. And twice I went to the doctor for that, for the palpitations, and none of them ever raised the subject. And it was like I still remained in the dark. My gynecologists never raised the subject. None of my gynecologists, none of my family doctors ever, ever, ever raised the subject. And I almost want to cry about it. It is so painful to think I had to suffer so much without any guidance or any help from all these people who are supposed to be scientists and trained. It is absolutely ridiculous. So here I come. I'm here trying to help you with this book. Get it? All the symptoms from head to toe are outlined, and how you can do your own physical assessment, because I'm trying to tell you the doctor is not going to do it. Well, if the doctor didn't do it on me, I'm pretty sure I'll bet my last dollar in the bank that they ain't going to do it on you either. Okay. And do your own physical assessment. You know what your premenopause self look like. So now compare it with your perimenopause self, because there are 12 months of perimenopause. I don't know if you knew that. Between when you start sorry, more than 12 months, actually 10 years of, it could be 10 years of perimenopause, but like 12 months after your last period to menopause, that period. From your last period to menopause. And that can be very, very stressful, that particular 12 months. And it changes your whole body chemistry changes. And this is one of the reasons why you need to get a book, because it takes more than 5 minutes to tell you, or more than 30 minutes to tell you what you need to look for. Plus, in this book, there are places where you can actually make notes about your own self, about your own health, and what you need to bring to the doctor's attention when you go. Okay, because if you go and raise the subject, then the doctor may talk about it. If you have a nurse practitioner, especially a female nurse practitioner, you stand a better chance, because I don't know what it is about male doctors and menopause. I really do not know what it is. If you find out what it is, please send me a note. They just will not broach the subject whatsoever. So maybe somebody can help me with that. I really need to understand that, why they don't want to, bring it up. Okay, so that's enough. Let's talk about the most important thing that you need to know about me. What is the most important thing you need to know about me? The most important thing you need to know about me is that I'm a grandmother, I think. I am bought with a price, and I'm a grandmother. Those are the two things I value the most that nobody can take away from me. And so I did not expect to be a grandmother either. So my oldest grandchild is 6 years old. Sorry, is 5 years old. I don't know why I'm aging him. So Cleo Lopez reads, a clear and healthy communication between partners about this event can be a turning point to relationships. Yes, you're absolutely right. But most men are really not, you said between partners, but in my understanding, most men don't know anything about menopause whatsoever. And the thing is, they don't know that they go through menopause as well. At least they're not going to accept it. However, there are things out there to help them with their menopause, which is called andropause. When their testosterone levels fall, they can just go to the corner store and buy something and perform. Now, a woman cannot do that, okay? For men, it's a lot easier, because I was told that men have this huge sexual appetite. And for women, someone wrote, Riley Miller Wright, experience truly is among the best teachers, and it's truly such an inspiring move for you to write about such a vulnerable event in your life to help others. Oh, Riley, you're going to let me cry right now. I cannot begin to explain the sorrow that I went through. It is just to bring it up, brings tears. But I think if I was educated about it, because education, sorry about that. Education brings wisdom, you see. Knowledge is wisdom, and I was ignorant. I was ignorant, and you can't afford to stay ignorant, because you could die being ignorant. Okay. It is important that you get the knowledge that you need to navigate this point in your life. Roxanne Coombs, right. This book is very necessary. She'll get a copy. This book is necessary. I will check it out. I'm sorry. I just became emotional there. I'm just thinking about the the difficulties I had. And this is actually why I wrote the book. Sorry. Oh, boy. I wrote it because I was sad every day. I could not understand why I was sad. I could not understand why I felt the way I did. I felt I did not enjoy relationships with my husband anymore. And I did not understand it. And nobody told me until I did the research. You need to get it. What is the name of my Facebook page? Actually, the name of my Facebook page is beautiful. Just look at it, look for it, and you can see beautiful.com over there and /Facebook, blah, 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 those links. And you can find it there. You can also get the book on Amazon. I think it's books like this that go into detail about these events that make them more bearable and less frightening. You're absolutely right, Elizabeth. Thank you for being an avenue for women to feel this. Yes, thank you, Elizabeth. Absolutely. And also putting it down on paper, knowing that I'm going to be able to help somebody not feel as badly as I did, to help somebody understand who they are. And because really, you really are changed, okay? And the event changes you. You're not the same. And whoever, the name of the Facebook page is Beautiful. And you can find it there. And I have another live session tomorrow, and we can continue this conversation. Okay, I'm so lovely tears. Thank you, Betty Miller. Thank you. I didn't really want to, I just became sensitive when somebody talked about when they brought up my experience, because you don't, it's not in a void. It's who you are. You're a whole person, and that includes your experiences as well. Thank you so much for listening. And please come tomorrow, or is it Wednesday? I think we have another schedule for Wednesday. There's a live event on Wednesday too. We'll talk more about some of the subjects in the book that will encourage you to do the best that you can do for yourself in this time period. And also to encourage your husbands and your partners to listen, please, or to read the book. Because it's difficult for the men to understand what you're going through. And they're really, really intimate things that your husband should know about you, or your spouse should know about you. Really, really intimate things. I'm not going to talk about them on TV. It's in the book, but I'm just going to mention that there are intimate things that you need to know about yourself so that they don't come as a shock to you or your spouse. Thank you for listening. Okay. Bye-bye.